Welcome to ELLYNWITHAY goes live for my 50th episode. I'm so excited. I'm going to start crying right now. I'm so emotional on this show. Damn it. Thank you for joining me on my anniversary episode. This has been 1 year.
Yay!
1 year of doing ELLYNWITHAY goes live Tuesdays at 10. Thank you everybody for tuning in live. Thank you to my very, very full, large studio audience filled with all of my friends and family out of town. Everybody's here. And I've never done this before, but okay. So I just want to show you, everybody wave. Hi. This is my friends, my family, my parents, my sisters, my cousins, past guests of the show, future guests if you'll allow me. I want to say thank you to you all for coming here. It means a lot that you would travel or take time out of your life to come and do this live, so thank you. So I figured for my anniversary episode, kind of take a second and look back on this last year and this experience and like, why did I even start this? And I started it because I finally felt the confidence because of where I was working and the friends that I have and the people who, my family in my life who've like, you should be in front of the camera. You're really funny. Whatever. I'm not crying. And so I finally had the confidence to do it. And I had a really good friend, Emilee Burton, who helped me kind of craft the show and did my graphics and did all my creative for me that, you know, could make this really seem professional. Because I didn't want to half-ass it and I didn't want it to seem this like, you know, with like sticks and glue. You know, I wanted it to, you know, popsicle sticks and glue. I wanted it to seem professional. And so I'm really grateful to Emilee for helping me get started. And it took a lot, but I was very like convinced that I was ready to do this. And so I really appreciate everyone around me for supporting. For all of my friends in the beginning that I wouldn't say I forced you to come on the show, Laura. I wouldn't classify it as a force. No. I would just be like, I just made it very available to you. And now I'm so grateful I'm in a position where people are like raising their hands saying that they would want to come on the show. You know, we've had a lot of really cool people come on the show. So, and it feels like it's morphed into this thing where I feel like I have had a really special life and upbringing, and it's diverse, and there's a lot of different people and experiences and other people's experiences, and it gives you empathy for people who are different from you. And I didn't realize that not everybody has the privilege of being raised and growing up around very diverse people, shapes, sizes, colors, abilities. When I look back and I look at the people who have had on, I'm really grateful that I can share that with someone who maybe doesn't have that experience, who maybe not from somewhere where there's a lot of diversity of people. And I mean diversity of all kinds and bodies, like everything. And so what originally was like, I want to be on camera and I want to talk about hot topics and I want to have fun and I want to laugh and I want to make you laugh, and I always want to make people laugh and spread joy. And I think that if you catch yourself smiling while you watch the show, that is the absolute purpose of it, because we should be doing more to get those kind of smiles, like those involuntary, you're just enjoying yourself. But if I can also like share what my world looks like, and if that's not what your world looks like, not crying. But if I can share what my world looks like and it helps you to see that and helps people have empathy, helps people understand other people, like that's amazing. Like that's really become more important to me than like, I just want to be in front of a camera. It's like, I think it's great to be able to spread joy and spread other people's messages. People are so infinitely fascinating if you just take a second to ask questions and ask like deeper questions. Because yeah, I can ask you how was work today, but like where were you raised? How did you come up? Why do you like that art project? Like when did you get experience and exposure to body positivity? When did you decide that you became an artist? I didn't even know you could go to school to do that type of thing. Like if I don't know these things, a lot of people don't know these things. And so that's a part of it. It's just sharing everyone's diverse experiences and giving people a chance to see something they may not have seen before, and give a voice to people that have something to share, which is everyone. And anyone that thinks that you don't have something interesting to share, you're kidding yourself, because trust me, I'll get it out of you. There's always something interesting to talk about. And then we'll laugh if there's not. No, I'm kidding. There always is. There always is. So it's been a really special experience, and I'm very, very, very grateful and humbled that people would ever tune in, would ever watch, would ever like, would ever comment. It means a lot to me. Thank you, everyone in the comments. You're very, very sweet. Jesse, Lisa, oh my God, Kathy, thank you. Oh my God, Tanner, it's my godson. Lynn, oh my God, Sam, oh my God, thank you all. I really appreciate it. And so, diving into like a little bit more fun. So I kind of made a list, because I was like, okay, like what has changed in a year? So obviously my hair is shorter. My hair was very, very long when I started the show. That was my hair. This is the picture from my Hear Me Out. My hair was literally down to here. Okay, I gained a little weight, but that's fine. I tried stand up for the first time. I committed to saying I would do that here on the show, and I did it. And I have gone up on stage and done stand up quite a few times since I committed to doing it. What else has happened? I definitely think I'm a happier person. I'm more purpose driven. And I'm kind of over Noah Centineo. It's taken a year. And I think something else to talk about is, what have I learned? Well, one, I'm rarely at a loss for words. I realized I could just keep talking, and I don't know if that's a skill set. I got in trouble for it a lot when I was in grammar school, but I don't ever run out of things to say. There's not really a lot of like gaps when I'm editing, like sound gaps. I was like, I'm happy with that. I'm really proud of myself. I'm more emotional than I thought I was. I wrote this before I started crying 5 times. My friends when I was younger, we used to joke around and say I was the Grinch because of the really small heart. Because I just like wasn't that like emotional, or maybe that like showing of my emotions. And I think that this show has brought it to the surface tenfold. I literally would never have cried. Like I cried at my sister's wedding, and two of my best friends were there. They're like, we've never seen this. That was 5 years ago. They're like, we don't know what to do with this. I'm like, me either. I'm not sure. I don't know. But now I apparently cry all the time. Thank God I look good doing it. And I talked about this a little bit, but I do think people are more fascinating than we give ourselves credit for. And I hope that if you're on the hamster wheel of life and you feel like it's just monotonous, like try to do something to change that, because that will inevitably kind of ricochet into the rest of your life, and it kind of just makes things tweak and change. I just think you should always be evolving yourself as a person and learning about yourself and doing different things, and you probably will uncover something about yourself you didn't even realize. And trust me, you are interesting and unique and beautiful, and you have an interesting story to tell. Because I've had about 45 people, unique, different people on this show, and they all had something interesting and fun to share. And I wanted to just thank everyone, every single guest that has ever come on. Thank you for going out of your way. Thank you for coming to my apartment. That's where I shoot this. I should show. Okay, another little behind the scenes. This is my set, but it's really a bookshelf. Okay? If you go back to my early episodes, I used to sit in front of the bookshelf, and then I got fancy and I made a set, and it literally ends right outside of this frame. My blessed roommates, I had Sarah and I have Catherine, people who are willing to live with me and be okay with this happening in their apartment every week. I thank you both. Sarah was a really big cheerleader for me every week this whole year, so I really appreciate her. And I thank everyone that's come here and gone out of their way and come here and do something and support me, and I can support them back and celebrate and promote whatever they've got going on. And the fact that people have come and reached out, you know, like Pete, Tattoo Money, that floored me. Everybody knew. I was so excited when Pete reached out. That was just insane to me. I was like, you are on the soundtrack of my favorite Netflix show. Fast forward, then my friend Laura is friends with the girl that's on a Netflix show. Sean Taylor comes on from Netflix. I had just watched her on my television. I'm floored that people would come and see this show. So they come be on it, come watch it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Oh, Antoine, my first guest ever. It's my friend Antoine, my forever friend. So I figured I'd take a second and remember some of the best hot topics that ever existed on the show. And I think I would be remiss if I did not mention the Tristan Thompson Jordan Woods scandal that broke on a Tuesday night while I was sitting here, and I was freaking out. Everyone was like in the apartment. I was screaming. I was not articulating what happened. So I talk about on the show, I don't like to talk about, I hate people's drama where it's sad and hurts people, but it's also like, this was like the most salacious thing. You can't not. Another really amazing hot topic, if you guys remember, I was tracking Sunday service before it got on to the main news channels. I knew Kanye had something going on. You call it a cult. You could say that. I don't know. I'm still waiting for my invite. I would totally go. I don't care. I would totally go. Also, another really amazing hot topic. I don't know if everyone remembers this, but the college cheating scandal. Again, broke on a Tuesday. Just saying, the gods. Aunt Becky was just out here lying on her kids' resumes, and just now they're still in court. This is crazy to me that they're still dealing with it, so we can keep talking about it. But she's pleading not guilty. That's the update. So, but those were like my favorite hot topics, because they were just so like hot off the presses. Okay. I don't know where or why. I feel like I'm breaking down the show. Where did what to watch? Like, where did that come from? It's not sign language. It doesn't mean anything to anyone. It's not use. I don't know why. Tuesdays I don't know. Can I tell you? Tuesdays at 10, the reason the show is Tuesdays at 10 is because I like alliteration. A year later, I wish it was, Sundays at 7. 10 o'clock on a Tuesday is late. So I appreciate everyone that watches live. Over the course of a year, you've all been exposed to Ellynisms. Or at work, they keep a document that says literally shit Ellyn says. And Christmas on a Cracker is on there. And let's unpack that. Who can say? Oh, my Lanta. Just like running through a couple. I did the food for thought on this. I just think you should be as creative as you possibly can with the English language, because what's stopping you? And then when the English language fails you, dip into other languages. So back to what to watch. So I've talked about a lot of different shows, but it's very serendipitous that this is my anniversary episode that I finally got to watch To All the Boys I Loved Before, P.S. I Love You Too. It came out last week. I was waiting to watch it home alone on Valentine's Day. It sounds pathetic, but it was a plan. Like, I planned that for myself. Self-love is real love, okay? And I planned a very nice night for myself where I watched To All the Boys I Loved Before, P.S. I Love You Too. Then I rewatched To All the Boys I Loved Before, and then I watched P.S. I Love You Too again. In like succession, because I was just like, well, let me rewatch it because maybe I missed something. It's great. It was very sweet. I loved it. It's different from the first, but still very good. Everybody should go watch it. I love it, but who cares? Like, we're kind of over now. But like, truly go watch it. Also, shameless plug, Elena, who was on my show 2 weeks ago, works at Oprah Magazine and interviewed me for an article on oprahmagazine.com about adults who rewatch and binge To All the Boys I Loved Before frequently. And I'm not alone. There were other people quoted, other people my age and older, and there was like a doctor or some kind in there, so it's legitimate. I read it, and it was really sweet, and even my mom gets a little shout out in the article. So you guys can check that out on oprahmag.com after you finish watching this episode, and do not leave watching my show. But that's like my what to watch, but my real what to watch is always on my blog. It's my favorite show, and they just had a release date, March 31st. That's a current update. That's not like my favorite from the year. I love On My Block. I talk about it all the time, but On My Block has got a new season coming on March 31st, 2020. So get excited. I know Julie's freaking out. She loves it too. Okay. My food for thought, that was my favorite, I think is probably one of my most controversial. I don't know if anyone remembers this. It's about how getting engaged is probably the most deceptive that your partner will ever be. Financials that are being hid, the fact that your family's lying too. If you can't tell that your partner's lying, is that worse? Are we gonna find out that that person has a family in a town next door? Like, it was my most controversial, but that was my favorite one, because I was just like, how can you not see the yes, it's sweet, but the partner is lying. Like when you're trying to get engaged, Asha's like, no, he lies. He didn't tell you. He didn't tell you that you were like gonna get engaged at the barbecue, right? Where was the money going? That's my question. How do you not? Where does the money go? That's another. Where was the money, Wayne? Shout out to my big brother-in-law here, live and in person. Where was the money? Yeah, exactly. All the trips to go visit the jeweler.
Yep.
I'm sorry. It's literally just lying. It's like okay lying. Like, how do you teach a child like the difference between like an okay lie and a not okay lie? If this ends in a diamond ring, that's okay. Well, I robbed a bank. Is that okay? Well, yeah, if you're using that to fund the money to get the diamond ring, then that's fine. No, that's my favorite food for that. Just never, there's literally 1,000 avenues I can take it. I love that. Never not be funny. So that's kind of like my memory lane 50th episode. You know what's funny? I don't like anniversary episodes of chat shows because I really like the structure of them, and that's what I come to them, and it's familiar to me and comfortable every night. You know, you go and you watch Jimmy Fallon and it's a stand-up and a guest and musical, and that's what it is. But when they do specials, like, I actually don't like them. But I understand now, being in the industry, I understand it because it offers a moment to reflect. It offers a little bit of variety because it can kind of get a little like monotonous sometimes. You're like, oh, it's the same thing. Like, sometimes I don't even have to think to produce an episode. I know exactly what it's going to be. I never even look at my notes sometimes. So it's fun to do these kind of shake it up. But what I really love about anniversary episodes is that all these amazing people who love me and I love them come to my apartment and write questions and put questions in a bowl, and I kind of just rapid fire answer whatever questions my family and friends may have. Who is your dream guest? Not Noah. Mom and Dad, you guys won't come on the show. My dream guest. I will interview Ellyn on her last episode as I take over for her. I'm gonna speak that into it, my intention. I would honestly, like, I know it's like whatever, but I do want to meet Kim Kardashian. Like, I just want to like see her in person and see physically. Like, I feel like she like doesn't anatomically look okay in person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it would be like jarring to see her in real life. Like the proportions don't make. What? I just feel like it'd be interesting. Do you know that the real proportions of a Barbie doll, that woman would fall over? I'm just saying. Okay, what is your next venture? My next venture is, I think I'm going to launch a podcast with Carolyn. Carol Plus in the comments. We want to launch a podcast together to talk about the real stuff that people talk about when they're discussing sometimes intense topics, and respectfully have a discourse and are friends and can be friends after, even if you have differing opinions, and talking about tough topics and race and weight and socioeconomic status and the impact of all those three things, the intersectionality of it all. I'll say our conversations are fascinating. I think it'd be fun for people to hear how we get there. So we might have a podcast coming out. Where do you want to travel to next? I was just Googling Montana today because my friends that I travel with, my run group, I'm looking directly at you. I was thinking Montana because I feel like Jesse would really like to go to Montana because of Justin Timberlake. Oh, Ashton Kutcher. I'd like to meet Ashton Kutcher too, so that's another good guest. I'm just going to keep thinking of celebrities. What has been your biggest lesson in the process of filming the show? Lessons about yourself, career, etc. Yeah, I think it's that people are fascinating, infinitely fascinating, and that getting exposure to people with different experiences, different careers, different life paths, I think will teach other people to be more open. And I think there couldn't be there's nothing better than that. Like, the visual I have is like, if your mind and heart are so closed, I just envision this like tightness here and not willing to be open, and that physically does not feel good. So imagine being open to, and you don't have to change or you don't have to be different, but you have to be open to other people and other lives and other experiences. And I feel like that's been the biggest, not lesson for me, but mission for what this show does for me, and I hope does for other people. So, okay, what do you wish you could tell yourself at 16? Oh God, love yourself more, more than you think you do. You're better than you think you are. Have some compassion. You don't have to be perfect. go to school to pursue something like this and don't go to a fallback plan, because it'll take you 10 years to figure it out. So maybe we could circumvent that. If your name wasn't Ellyn, what would you want your name to be? Okay, so my name was supposed to be Molly. I-E or Y?
With a Y.
With a Y? My name was supposed to be Molly with a Y. And then my mom, that was my name in the hospital, and she felt as though I wasn't really responding. And when she was giving the nurses her full name, her middle name is Ellyn, spelled with an E, and she felt that I had a response, that I reacted to Ellyn, and so she wanted me to be a little different, so she gave me Ellyn with a Y. And through being on social media and doing videos with Refinery 29, I've actually had women around the world reach out to me that their name's also Ellyn, spelled with a Y. I even had one woman, her name's Ellyn Rose, and that's my name's Ellyn Rose. So it's crazy, but yeah, my name would have been Molly, and if I could have picked a name for myself, I guess it would have been my confirmation name, because I pursued that, which was Victoria. And Grace remembers it. So it was, her sainthood was contested, but because it was in the middle of being contested, I could still pick it for my confirmation name, and it was rooted in the fact that I liked Posh Spice. And you know what? I was like 13, and where there's a will, there's a way. And I was like, tell the cardinal, it is Victoria. Ellyn Rose Victoria Puleio. Okay, what do you wish you could tell yourself at 8? Do sports. I didn't really do sports. I did theater. And that's great. I like manage the cross country team. That's when you sit and hold the clipboard. Still got a varsity letter. Just saying. Again, finesse whatever you need to. But no, I would say do more sports, because I did like real sports. Because I did rec sports and stuff, but I think if I had done a sport in high school and like been serious about a sport, it would have flourished. And I didn't really get that high school sport experience, and it's because I was very like light touch with sports when I was little. Like I did rec basketball, rec softball, rec soccer, but I just never like took it further. And I think working out is a really important part of keeping a healthy mind. What's your favorite Sunday morning home cooked breakfast? That is in my father's handwriting, so that is my dad's pancakes. But if we're being really honest, when Dad goes and picks up Boxcar Bagel. When you go home to New Jersey, you have to have Boxcar Bagel. Okay, what other YouTube channels, Instagram accounts are you most inspired by? Whatever. I like David Dobrik. Get over it. I love him. I know nobody knows who it is. He's like a YouTuber that only like 20-year-olds know. I like David Dobrik. He's really, really funny to me. Other YouTube, Instagram accounts. I'm really inspired by my friend Laura and Isabel. You guys have very inspiring Instagram accounts. I think a lot of the people I've had on the show are very inspiring. I'm very into TikTok now. So bad. Very into TikTok now, and there's this one girl I follow. I think her account's like Looney, LEWWNNII. You know the one I'm talking about. Yeah. And she's just so real, and she's just like a nut, and I love it. She's so funny. She's like, get unready with me, and she takes like all her makeup off, and she's just like, I look like trash. I'm like, I know, same. I take my makeup off, and I'm like Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks said it best. Some people need makeup, and some people don't. I do. She said, she's like, I do. And I was like, I do. I look better with makeup on. I look great without it. I don't need it. I could walk out the door and don't care. But I look like this because of a couple pounds of makeup. What is one thing that no one in the room knows about you?
Ooh, that's difficult.
Yeah, my entire family's here. That's so difficult. No one in this room probably doesn't know this. I was the pledge mom to the Sigma Nu fraternity when I was a sophomore. So that meant that all the boys in that pledge class, shout out to my pledge babies, I would bring them treats and stuff. And it was like an honor bestowed on like a girl that was friends with the fraternity, and it was like a very special, and people were upset that I got it and whatever. But I was a pledge mom, and I would like bring them like treats and stuff while they were pledging, and it was obviously like difficult for them. We won't say why. And we won't get into the logistics, and then they gave me gifts and I would give them gifts, and I was their pledge mom, and probably nobody here knows that because, yep. If you could make a guy, what qualities would you give him? Okay, so I've kind of zeroed in on what I'm looking for. Maybe we'll just put it out there. I need like the more like quiet, funny guy who's like really, really funny, but he's not going to be the one that's like entertaining the room, because there doesn't need to be two of those in a relationship, and no, and like, you know, I'm self-aware. Like, I'm self-aware. I know I'm a big personality. I'm loud. Like, I'm there's a star in every relationship.
Your last down in the room.
Yeah, so I want someone who is passionate about what they do, driven, someone who can have really interesting conversations and debates and just talk about everything, and who's like a full-on partner. I think that that's really important in a man. I think it's 50-50. Yeah, I'm looking for someone who's like the more quiet, funny type, and quirky and funny for me and not funny for everyone else, because I appreciate that. And someone who like, acts of service is big for me, and quality time. So somebody who can show love in those ways. So, okay, that's if I could make a guy. Also, I mean, if he was just like, if he looked like Mark Ruffalo, that'd be cute. What was the craziest dream you ever had? I have the same dream always since I was a kid. I haven't had it recently. But when I was growing up, I used to have a dream where I was walking up the driveway to my side door, and I would notice there was a person behind us. This is a nightmare. There's a person behind me, and he like starts to chase me up the driveway. I go to open the door, I get in the door, I'm closing the door, he's pulling the door open. So then I go up, there's a set of 2 stairs. I go up the stairs, through the kitchen, through the living room, dining room, living room, try to get to the front porch. It's all very tight together. It's a very small space, so it's not much of a chase. And then the dream ends. I don't know. Do I get out? Do I not get out? Did he get me? Did he come into the house? I don't know. But it's the feeling of not being able to run fast enough. Like, you know that, and every woman's head is shaking right now. Yes. That feeling of like, you just don't think you can run fast enough to get away. That, I feel that in my dream. And then I wake up, and I'm usually sweating. Am I happy or both of them? It's both happy. So it's I'm happy or unhappy. I'm happy. What's your favorite animal? Giraffe. I love giraffes. I had a little Lego giraffe when I worked at Lego. Raffy, with a Y. For real. There was a personality in my house in Connecticut. What is 90 plus 3 times 60? That is a question for a calculator. If you could only live on 2 foods, what would it be? Sushi and tacos. What guests do you want on your show? I mean, that's really hard for me. I genuinely, honestly, this is an open call to anyone who wants to be on the show and who also wants to promote being on the show. Support, you know, cross promote. If you know anybody that wants to be on the show, let me know. Hit me up, because I'm booked into March, but April is coming. Oh, my favorite trap song? Roddy Ricch, The Box. I don't know if it's trap. It's on TikTok. Okay, whatever. TikTok song. If you had the chance to be on The Bachelor with Peter, would you do it? Yes, I would do it. I would be on there speaking the truth. Although he seems like a nice guy, but I can't stand. He says the same word. What's the phrase he says every time? He's just like, I feel a strong connection. If a man ever repeatedly told me he felt a strong connection, I'd be like, you can connect yourself to the Wi-Fi and see yourself out. Enough with the connection. Tell me something real. I feel a connection. I'm like, baby, that's the Wi-Fi. Oh, this is a fun new question. Who is the new Noah? There is no new Noah. It was a moment in time. I had like this 14-year-old vibe of Ellyn being obsessed with this one actor, and we're over it. We've got a question from the audience. Would you do Big Brother? Yes. Is there a casting director watching? I would like to go on Big Brother. I would be great at it. I'm nice, but I also understand chess. And so that's important, because these go on these shows and they're just like, huh, how does it work? Go on The Circle. Yes, The Circle. You could cast me. I would go on The Circle. I want to thank you all so much for joining my show. I really appreciate everybody watching week over week. It means a lot to me that you would come and watch this live. I appreciate you all watching it here. I am no longer emotional. I can actually close out the show. I hope this show brought you some joy. I hope it brought you some laughter. And if it did, and you find yourself smiling during the show, go out there and spread that and give that gift to other people, because we could all use a lot more of it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Hi everyone, thanks for watching. To subscribe to my channel, click here. And to watch more videos, click here. Be sure to like, comment, and hit the bell so you get notified every time I upload a video.
Sit down, choosing hands.